Is a 4K display necessary or most importantly useful on a smartphone? This is the Sony XPERIA Z5 Premium, the world's first smartphone with a 4K display, and it has quickly become my favorite daily driver for the past week. This is Warren for KLGadgetTV, and this is the Sony XPERIA Z5 Premium review. Sony's flagship smartphones have not seen a major design change in many years. The Z5 Premium hardly feels like a new phone, but thankfully its overall design has remained rather iconic and favorable in my impression. I'm glad that Sony has implemented a side fingerprint scanner on its power button that works really well for me as a right-handed user. The phone's volume rocker has also been shifted below the power button that serves as a convenience for the camera's zoom key. The flap on the left of the phone protects the dual nano SIM tray that can go missing if not careful, and a dedicated micro SD slot. What most users will not like is that the glass material of the phone continues to be a fingerprint magnet, just like many other Xperia smartphones, but you will be able to wash the phone under the tap and make it clean, all thanks to the phone's IP68 certified water resistance standard. Specs wise, the Xperia Z5 Premium has the same performance internals as the rest of the Z5 family. That includes a second generation Snapdragon 810 octa-core processor, 3GB of RAM, 32GB of flash, a 23MP main and 5.1MP front camera. To power that 5.5-inch 4K display, Sony has given the Z5 Premium a 3430mAh battery. That sounds kind of underwhelming, but we'll get to that part in a moment. Now let's get a little technical about the display itself. While Sony has claimed that the phone's display is able to produce a staggering 801 pixels per inch, this is only effective in Sony's very own album and videos app. The phone's display will be operating at Full HD all the time, and that is due to the resolution support limit on Android 5.1. But you may ask, why not 2K? That is a question that I've been asking myself as well, but I could assume that Sony has taken battery life into consideration. Hence, 1080p is more than sufficient for an excellent viewing experience. So, how does 801 pixels per inch really feels like? Well, I happen to download the 4K into the phone itself and compare it with an LG G4 that has a Quad HD display. The results aren't significant at all, and unless you look really closely, the Z5 Premium does tend to deliver a sharper picture quality, and color reproduction is really awesome. Sony smartphone software has improved significantly over the years. While there are a couple of pre-installed bloat on the phone, they do not slow down the experience. The Z5 Premium software has a very stock Android feel to it, and apart from having Sony team icons, everything looks really simple and functional. If I ever really need to make use of the huge display, there's a number of floating small apps that will make multitasking a little easier. The Snapdragon 810 processor performs beautifully in everything I do, and it rarely slows down in my review period. There has been no warning signs of overheating, and while the phone does get a little warm at times, it isn't uncomfortable to hold. The Xperia Z5 Premium has all Sony's high-res audio technology under the hood, and I really enjoy audio playback on both the phone's front-firing speakers and earphones. Bluetooth streaming in particular is very satisfying, all thanks to aptX. Camera technology has always been Sony's greatest achievement on a smartphone, and the Xperia Z5 Premium's main camera does not disappoint in producing great pictures despite lacking optical image stabilization. Despite of that, there are annoying moments that its intelligent SIM feature doesn't necessarily capture the best photos. However, the manual mode on the phone does work wonders for advanced users. Focusing speed is pretty fast, however it doesn't have the fastest shutter to capture quick moving objects. The front camera does a great job in taking low-light selfies despite lacking a front LED flash, but it isn't as great as the one on the Galaxy Note 5 in my opinion. Last but not the least, the Z5 Premium's camera is a champ in recording 4K video, and its video stabilization is by far the best I've ever seen on last year's flagship. The Xperia Z5 Premium performs great in processor and graphics benchmarks, which makes it easily one of the top performing smartphones in its range. Battery life has also been very decent for such high-end hardware, as the phone is able to endure a full working day on moderate use. The battery also charges up fast, all thanks to Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0. I've been using U-Mobile and Maxis network on the phone, and there are times I encountered inconsistent LTE coverage in areas I traveled to. However, there were thankfully no drop calls experienced during the review. If Sony had made and released the Xperia Z5 earlier, the phone could have easily won my heart over as the best Sony smartphone ever made at this point of time. The Z5 Premium's 4K display sadly isn't a big deal, and unless you want a larger display, the standard XPERIA Z5 is already a great Sony smartphone that costs 400 ringgit lesser than the Premium. But if your eyes are sharp to notice the difference, it is still fine to consider the XPERIA Z5 Premium.